In this video, I will talk about how salvia has affected me, how my use of salvia has affected me, and what I feel I've gained from it, what I've learned from my experiences overall. And yeah, this isn't about what the effects of salvia are when I do it so much as this is about sort of the long-term impact that it has had on my life. First, one of the biggest, most powerful things that it has taught me, and yes, I do forget, especially when I don't do it for a long time, and I feel more into different perspectives. Anyway, the main thing I've learned, and the main thing that I've seen and witnessed as truth, is that all separate things, all things that appear to be separate, are actually the same thing. All of these, that's pretty much that simple. Everything is the same thing. I've learned that, and I see that, and I'm reminded of it each and every time I use salvia. Everything is connected. That's another way of saying it. Everything is connected, or all is one. But these are like spiritual ideas, and it's something cool to think about. But to actually experience it in the moment, you experience it you experience it physically and really deeply. It's not just like a spiritual thing, It's not meant to be. It's actually it is experienced as reality. In the moment during the experience, all things are really connected as one thing. We're seeing like the surface, we're seeing the little separate parts, but it's really connected. Everything is the same thing, and that's really powerful. It's not about what that thing is, like, oh well, what is that one thing? It's just knowing that everything is the same thing has been the most powerful thing to learn, and it's been the most powerful knowledge to be acquainted with for me out of everything. And that is really the main core lesson that I have learned, and it's the main core lesson that salvia continues to teach me and remind me and reinforce. Knowing that all things are the same thing, it removes almost all fear that a person has, all fear that I have, until I forget it, but it removes that. Because you know that everything is the same thing, In other words, everything is you. That's not the best way to say it or the best way to look at it, because that can be easily like taken over by your ego. Saying you are everything, everything is you. But really, you are connected to everything, and everything is a part of you. You are part of everything else. It's this perspective, and it's really humbling. It puts me on this level where I feel equal to all things. I feel equal to this tree. I feel equal even to inanimate objects. I don't always act like it. Of course, I have a personality. I am a human being. I have my own beliefs, and I have an ego and all this stuff. But deep down inside now, I feel that. I feel that I really am equal to everything. I'm equal to these tomatoes over here. My value is no greater than theirs. That's probably sounds stupid to some people to say that, but it's not. It doesn't really matter to me how it sounds or if people think it's stupid, because it's something that I've experienced time and time again as the truth. I've been reminded of it, and I see it, and when I'm tuned into that knowledge, I guess this is true with anything, but when I'm tuned into that knowledge, evidence of it manifests in my life. Evidence showing me that I am connected to everything, and everything is connected to me. All things are really one. And separation, any form of separation, when it comes down to it, is an illusion. Like I said, these are all, these are spiritual ideas, and people have written about them in books. I'm sure many people have read about them. I've read about them. But the reason that they're so powerful when I read about them is because I had experiences showing me these things before I started getting into this shit. I was never into any New Age sort of stuff or reading spiritual texts or anything like that at all. Never really was. Until after I had these experiences with salvia, then I got into it. Then I got into everything. This was years ago, and it sparked my interest in spirit and in, well, yeah, everything that has to do with spirit. And along the way, I've gone off track a few times, gotten a little bit carried away with some of the new age sort of airy bullshit, but every time I've used Salvia, she's reminded me of the basic and simple core facts about reality. And like I said, the main one is just that everything is the same thing. So now another thing that I'm continually reminded of after each experience, no matter how weak or strong, and something that I've learned and I've, strongly or largely integrated into myself is, I no longer believe in death. I mean, I have to talk about it. I have to use the word death to get across the ideas that I'm talking about, and we see our bodies die, bodily death is a reality, but I no longer believe in actual death, like death of consciousness. I used to believe that there was like a death of consciousness, if that makes sense. I guess, I don't know if I believed it, but I used to fear and sort of believe, I guess, yeah, that maybe when we died, it was the end of existence in a way. Because if I'm this perceiver and I cease to exist, nothing can be perceived. And there we have non-existence, But from my experiences with Salvia, have shown me that death also is an illusion. What death really is, I'm not qualified to say, but what I feel that it is, maybe, is that it's just moving to a different level of awareness. One in which there are less boundaries, as compared to this earthly life that we live. Less boundaries, less separation. The energy, I believe, after death, the consciousness that one might experience is not so separate. How here we feel separate from each other. We have separate bodies. We are very separate. We have separate paths. Everything feels more connected and more one when the consciousness leaves the body. And it's not like I've died before. Obviously, I haven't died. I'm not sure how Salvia has shown me this. I think it's because during most experiences, especially more powerful ones, my consciousness is still intact. When you have these experiences, something is happening. Whatever it is for you, whatever your Salvia experience is interpreted to be, whatever it's experienced to be, you experience that. But you don't really experience it as you're human with a name. Like, my name is Richie. And I don't experience the whole thing as Richie. I just experience it as what? I don't know. As something that's much more sort of like collective, much more shared, like a shared consciousness with everything, with all things. It's just like more pure, more free. So it's like I've learned from Salvia that consciousness still goes on. Consciousness goes on beyond the body. Right now, I experience consciousness through the five senses for the most part, and also through thoughts and whatnot. But it's the five senses. That's how I feel into the moment. That's how I become aware of things. But I've learned through my experiences, my use of Salvia, that senses don't create consciousness. Senses don't create awareness. Awareness is like filtered through the senses right now in this life. This is what I feel. So I feel like I'm going a little bit off track. I'm getting too, focusing on the wrong things here. In general, what Salvia has done is it's removed an enormous chunk of fear from myself. It's removed so much stress from my life that I can't even communicate that fully. I never will be able to communicate how much stress, internal stress, has been removed forever because of what I've witnessed, because of what I've gone through, and because of the things that this plant has shown me. I see so many people, and it's hard to speak about these things because I've tried speaking to people about them, especially in person or whatever, online, and people sometimes think you're trying to sound or act like you're better than them because you have it all figured out or something, or somehow you think you're enlightened. I don't think I'm enlightened. But what I want to say was just that I look around and I see so many people and they don't know how to let go. They're dealing with like other people's shit. It's not even theirs. They're dealing with drama, all of this drama, and they create so many problems and they worry about the most insignificant little things, and they let it actually makes them sick. You can see it making them sick. It affects them in such a powerful way. It's really sad to me to see that. I think a part of that is why I have this channel and I support talking about this in a respectful and responsible way, in the hopes that maybe someone will have experiences that I've had, and it will change their lives in such a positive way as it has mine. Because I don't feel that anymore. I used to feel a lot more pressure, like a sort of, I guess, imaginary pressure, pressure to please other people, whether it's my elders or just people that I love or anybody. Somehow I feel it is my use of salvia. I don't know what else it could be. I have also, like I said, since my first few experiences, I've been moving in this, I guess you could call it on a spiritual path, practicing deep breathing, learning meditation, all sorts of things. Right now I work as a massage therapist, and I'm still healing, and I'm still learning and figuring out and feeling out how to be more authentic, and how to really just be more in the moment and be more true to my spirit, and not so much trapped in ego games and living through my ego self. I just want to be a better person. I want to be a more good person, more good to others, more kind to others, more caring, and I want to express that openly and physically. Because I've always been a caring individual, but in the past that was more internalized and it was never really expressed fully. Now I'm expressing it in life. I don't mean to make it sound, I don't know if I am, but I don't mean to make it sound like salvia has helped me to find my purpose or something, because I do not really, I can't say I believe that. It's been other things in life. It's just been living life that's helped me find out who I am and what I enjoy doing, as far as, choosing the career path that I have chosen and practicing it. Salvia can be a very confusing experience, and it certainly isn't for everyone. As much as I wish every single person on the planet could experience what I've experienced and perceive it the way that I've perceived it, thereby gaining all the positive effects, I know that it's not possible for everyone. It's just that we're all different, and some people experience things differently, and it might actually traumatize them. They might see something that they weren't ready to see, and it will be a little bit too shocking. And this is why I want to say, until recently I had no experience of this, but I've experienced the dried salvia leaves. For those, I know there are many people I've seen comment and message me. They've come to this channel and they say, I've never done this before, or I've never done anything before, and I'm curious about trying it. And if it is legal in your state and you do wish to try it, what I would say is don't try an extract first. Don't even do that. See if you can just get the dried leaves and try incredibly insignificant amounts first. Slowly work yourself up. It's much better to not get enough of an effect than to get too much, because too much, like I said, may be traumatizing. Too much may be simply too much. Yes. So overall, again, what I've experienced is just like this ability to step outside of myself. I know a lot of people aren't able to do this. They're not able to step out of their self. Everything is taken personally. Everything is drama. Everything is stress. Everything is taken into them and internalized. And of course I do this. I do this a lot. I'm not a perfect human being, and like I said, I'm not enlightened. At the same time, I because of what I've gone through, I believe because of the salvia experience, it's much easier for me to let go. It's much easier for me to accept the fact that everything really isn't as serious as we all try to make it. We all, as humans, we try to make everything so serious and so stressful, and it's really not. Everything feels so good if you just stop and feel it. it feels really good. If you feel into this moment, chances are you would feel really good. Especially if you're outdoors. I feel much more connected to nature as a result. I can't say that I ever truly could feel the life in plant life before, but now I can feel it. I can feel the life around me when I'm surrounded by plant life. I feel that these trees around me, these plants, they are beings like me. I am a being. I am being. These are also being. And that's what we share in common. That's how we're all connected. We are really the same thing. I am made of the same thing as this tree. And I don't mean in earthly terms, I don't mean scientifically how you're going to break down the elements and say, well, no, actually you're made of this, they're made of that, it's different structures. I mean in the grand scheme of things, deeper than physical, deeper than earth, deeper than this universe. As far as existence goes, everything that exists, everything that can ever exist is made of the same stuff. There's only one thing that really exists. There's only this certain stuff that exists. It's this one thing. And as far as what is that thing? I've never even felt much of a need to ask that question. And if I do, it's probably because I forgot what the experience of it is. I forgot the experience of experiencing all things as one. And then when I have that experience again, I'm reminded there is no need to answer the question, what is that thing? Knowing that all things are one is the most relieving thought. It's the most relieving knowledge that one can experience, even if it is temporary and it sort of goes away in a pretty large way after the experience is over. Just experiencing that from time to time, let's say once every few years, and reminding myself of that has been extremely powerful and beneficial to myself when it comes to not taking on unnecessary stress. I believe that stress is what causes nearly every single disease. Disease in the body, it starts with stress, worry and stress. I know a lot of people, they become stoners, they smoke weed all the time and that's how they de-stress. They have to stay high. And I'm not one of those people. As far as weed goes, sure, from time to time I use it. I'm not against it in any way. And that would be a whole different topic to talk about. But with salvia, it's like not something that I use, you don't use it all the time, or I don't use it all the time as like a medication, like a treatment, like I need my daily dose or something. Like I said, the experiences are infrequent and sporadic and random. It's just whenever, it could be, like I said, years. Like I had a few experiences, for 2 days in a row, I had several experiences with the plant, the dried leaves, and I've had no desire since then to do it again, I have a lot. I ordered that amount, I put that video, and I just plan on having that just in case I would like to do it ever again. I'm going to keep it in storage, keep it safe, keep it near me, but not really use it. Because for me, it's not like an escape. You're not really escaping from anything. All that you're really escaping from if you do salvia, what I feel this way is if you use it, you're escaping from illusion. You're escaping from illusions and delusions that you believe in as a human. And sometimes that doesn't feel as much of an escape, People like getting fucked up. People like drinking alcohol and escaping from reality in that way. Because with salvia, it's almost like the opposite. You're not escaping the truth. You're going deeper into the truth. It's not that type of thing where I want to escape reality. Really, you're escaping illusion with salvia. So it's a totally different mechanism, totally different feeling. It's not something that we do for fun. It's not something that is recreational. At the same time, I don't think it needs to be taken so seriously, But I do take it seriously in a way. It's not a joke to me. Even if I would be laughing, I might be laughing during the experience. Sometimes I laugh because what I see is funny. I just take it seriously enough to the point, I respect it. I respect the power this plant has because I never knew before, but now I know because I've had experiences. I know how powerful it can be. It's more powerful than anything I've ever put into my body. Yeah, as short as it lasts, it is more powerful than anything I've ever done. So, I guess I'm going to end the video. It's been like 20 minutes now. Overall, salvia has had a very positive effect on my life. maybe not on my life itself. My life hasn't been affected, but my perception of life, my perception of existence, my ability to let go, it's had a positive effect on all these things. I feel more at ease. I feel more at peace. I feel more internal peace. I feel more connected to not only nature, but all things, all people, everything. It's been nothing but positive for me. I mean, the only negative that I can imagine is just during the experience, if it is a particularly intense experience, it can be quite uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable, maybe. And that's about as bad as it's been for me. If you are feeling suicidal or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend you do salvia. You know, I mean, that should be pretty straightforward. But I just wanted to say that. Yeah. Okay, let's just end the video on that note. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know if you can relate. Maybe anyone who's had experiences of their own, you'd like to share your experiences in the comments, or even make your own video. I'd love to see more videos from people. All right, bye-bye.